Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here.
Vince Anomaly.
And today we're going to look at a technique that is yet to be covered on fightTIPS, and coincidentally, it's one of Vince's favorite techniques. He's been holding out on us. What is it?
It's actually really basic, guys. We're going to be covering the arm drag, and it's something great because you can use it whether you're just grappling, doing jiu-jitsu on the ground, whether you're wrestling, or even in the cage when you're working MMA up against the wall. So let's check it out. So let's take a look at this arm drag. First, I'm going to show you kind of the principles behind it, why it works, and then we'll show you just different scenarios that you can use it in, from the clinch, from on the ground, and from even against the cage. So how it works is, let's say Shane's here, and just so you guys can see, like obviously Shane would be trying to defend this right now, but I'm going to be grabbing the same side wrist with my hand. So just like that, I'm grabbing the wrist, I'm reaching this other arm through, and I'm controlling behind the elbow. Now, because it's called an arm drag, a lot of people think it's really dragging Shane across and using my muscles to kind of throw him by me. It's not so much that as it is, I'm just trying to get around to the outside. Okay, so that means that I'm also going to be moving myself in and around at the same time. I'm not really just trying to drag because, you know, it's not always going to work. If someone's stronger, if they're slippery, whatever it is, they're going to be able to move their hands out. So we're going to control same side wrist, reach that through, control behind the elbow. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking away this space by passing this arm over, and I'm cutting it off at the same time. So notice how I took that little step in, and I've got around to Shane's side here. Now from here I can reach over, control the hip, and I've gotten to his back, right? So if I want to pick up the single leg, if I want to start going for takedowns, whatever it is, from there we can start working. But the big thing is I've kind of neutralized this arm so that I can get around to the outside. That's the whole principle about why it works. It's not, again, it's not just pulling Shane, because he's going to be able to pull himself right back. So when you think of the drag, think of yourself getting to the outside more so than just purely dragging Shane.
Yeah.
So just from, for example, standing up, let's say I've got this underhook, and we're working right here. I've got control of Shane's wrist. I want to get around to that outside again, right? So I'm going to drag, and I'm pulling Shane down. I'm controlling on the back over his body, and now I can pick this leg up, and we can work our single legs from there. That's just an example from that clinch. Even if we're just doing these pummeling drills, guys, we're stepping through. I can pummel around and use that arm drag to get around to the side. Now, one thing I like to hit all the time when we're starting on jiu-jitsu, right? Oftentimes we're just starting from the ground, so we're going to start a slow roll here. I always tend to feel this person out and see, where they're keeping their arms. If this guy lets me control this wrist, then I'm going to set up the same arm drag, right? So I'm going to try to get around to this outside by controlling the wrist. This hand's coming through. Now, what I'm doing is placing my hand to the outside. I'm pulling this hook out. And again, I'm pulling my body up and around. I'm scooting my butt out, controlling the back here. I'm dragging this knee out, and now I can work to start taking Shane's back. Okay, same principle as before. I'm moving my body more so than I'm just trying to drag Shane and pull him through.
Notice how Vince is on the other side. Like, he starts on this side, maybe by the time he's finished, he's 180 degrees on the other side. So again, make sure that you are moving your body, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You got to be moving that body. So, again, here on the wall, this is one that I like to hit, and I don't see it very often. When guys are in here and they're trying to take you down, we'll often get into this situation where we have this kind of overhook and underhook, right? So we get stuck right here, and I'm sure you've seen it in MMA, watching UFC, watching Bellator. Guys will get stuck here up against the cage. He's trying to pressure in and trying to get a takedown. Now, if I'm able to sneak this grip here on this wrist, I can hit my arm drag, right? But I got to be kind of sneaky about it. So I'm not going to go like this and turn into it, and now Shane's going to exactly just tilt and take my back. It's not going to work like that. When I hit this move here, I'm pummeling, we're struggling, Shane's starting to go for takedowns. I'm slowly inching this down, and now I'm just bringing my thumb inside here, controlling that wrist, and I'm dragging that arm through, and now I've got Shane up against the cage. If I want to throw knees, if I want to let go, engage for the takedown, or I can just back off. But it's a really good technique, guys, to use up against the cage. I don't see it being taught there very often. But again, it's something that you can use in a lot of different situations. So if you guys know how to do it, or if you haven't done it before, please try it out and try to mess around with it when you're working on the ground, when you're working up against the cage, when you're working in the clinch. It's just a great tool to have in your arsenal.
Alright guys, so if you've been wrestling or doing jiu-jitsu a while, you probably already know the arm drag, but if this is your first time learning about it, challenge yourself. Try to implement it into your game if you're a striker or you're training MMA. It's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to get more of these fight tips before your opponent does. I'm Shane.
Fancy anomaly.
Fight tips for the underdogs.